Hi folks, the video that you're about to see was actually shot about 2 years ago and has been lost in my archives for all this time. So today's date is actually January 1st, 2021, and over the Christmas holidays I've had a little bit of downtime. I've had fun editing this and bringing it back to life, and it's been fun discovering that my principles, strategies, philosophies, they've remained unchanged ever since making this. So that makes this video totally, perfectly valid. There might be a gizmo or a gadget that's been changed up, but not very much. So I'm really pleased to be releasing it and to know that the fundamentals are correct. And so if you're interested in radon mitigation, this video will help you. And it's one of my longer ones. It's probably the longest one. But hey, it's free video instruction. So if you're interested in getting the business, here you go, my gift to you. Happy New Year. All right, let's get in this. Party's getting started now, baby. Woo! That's what I'm talking about. It's radon time. What are we doing today? We're working in the rain. Hi, my name is Scott. I'm a radon mitigator in Virginia. I make videos for other radon mitigators, those looking to get into the business. And if you're a homeowner, you can stay and hang out. Check out www.nrsb.org. That's National Radon Safety Board. Plug in your zip code and that'll put you in touch with a certified radon professional in your area. This video today it's going to give you some helpful tips on doing this job in unpleasant conditions. It's raining today. It's not pouring, but it's enough to warrant bringing out some shelter and taking some precautions. We don't always have ideal situations like this where we can back the van up right to the job site and have access inside. You want to give yourself every advantage you possibly can. Here's some tips on how I like to do stuff in the rain. And it's not all that different than my everyday conditions. So for starters, I always use ground cloths. In rain, I've got cardboard underneath the ground cloths to help keep them from getting as sopped. You're going to need a place to dry out your ground cloths as well. So if you have a garage, you're going to be needing that at the end of the day. You want to dry them out every night. Get all of your stuff set up, just like a doctor. No surprises. I want making money to be boring. I want spending it to be exciting. So I set up every job the same way. I always have ground cloths. My rule of thumb is I keep my stuff on the ground cloths, and that way I don't lose my stuff. Boring, boring, boring. This job will be challenging enough and present you enough surprises. You keep it boring and routine. That's the best advice I can give you. Have all your stuff charging, ready to go. Everything is ready to go. I don't do a thing until everything is in place. Set up your lights. You cannot have enough illumination. You cannot be overly prepared. You cannot know enough about the house. Take 5 minutes while you close your eyes at night and think about the house the next day. What color is it again? Oh, did you need to bring brown pipe to this job? Or will white do the trick? Did you paint your brown pipe? Well, in this case, it's white, so it's not red alert, but those things will happen to you. Okay, so here's some other tips. You want to know where everything is. Always have a trash bag. I have 2 trash buckets for the outside, 2 for the inside. I have an outside hammer and an inside hammer. Outside glue and inside glue. You use those things on both places. There's nothing more frustrating than getting outside and oh crap, I gotta go back inside, because you will be going in and out and in and out, and you're gonna have enough stuff just with your tool belt and your electrical doodads to go in and out, in and out. Go ahead and get duplicates and set them there. I always mock up my fan. I hope to use this model fan, but if not, the dimensions are still the same if you see my videos and you want to know exactly how it's gonna be. Why surprise yourself? Have it ready. You don't want to poke a 5-inch diameter hole in somebody's house and find out it's not going to work out. Don't be surprised. Keep it boring. You want it to be boring. You want to be an automated machine when you do this job. I'm on my 5th day of doing this and I'm tired, but yet I'm not at the same time. I'm kind of a little machine at this point. I know exactly what I need to do, where to go, where my stuff is. If I keep my stuff on these mats, I'm not going to lose it. If you lose a small hand tool, that means you got to go, well, where is it? Oh my gosh, where is it? And that costs you time, and time costs you that sweet moolah. All right, so here's some more tips. I'm making the hole here to fit our fan in. I'm running some beefy equipment, which is loud. The very best earplugs that I know to come up with is plumber's putty. Believe it or not. What material do you know of that will fit your ear better than putty? If you do know of one, let me know, because I don't know everything in the world. It's what's been working for me. And this stuff is loud, and you do want to protect your hearing as well as your sight and all that other stuff as long as you possibly can. It's a rough job. Usually when I encounter stone stuff, it's usually a veneer, but this house was actually, the veneer is actually stone. So this is kind of rough right here. I'm having to go at it pretty hard with all the attachments I've got from my drill, the core drill, and both of my jackhammer attachments. Tip for when you go through cinder block, these are the safest zones of the cinder block to go through. Either right here, smack dab in the middle, or like so. You don't want to be in here because these are cavities within the cinder block. So here I can show you. You see how cinder blocks work? So you want to run your drill through that so it has something to ride upon. If you go through here, it's going to fall into a cavity and it's going to be a little rougher. I mean, you can get it done, and I have gotten it done, and I'm going to get it done on this one because due to how this rock was set up, I had to take my thinnest point and just make the best of it. I'm not going to come out textbook on the cinder block like so, but if you have a choice, try to do like what I just told you. It could make your day or break your day. All right, so now I'm on the inside and I'm just about ready to poke through. I want to drill on both ends. That's what I was talking about, this in out deal. If I were to just drill straight through, I'd have this giant blowout. So I'm going to drill on this side as well. And because of all my preparation, I've got my extension cords ready. It's no big whoop. I just bring my drill in and just catch it from this one. The party's getting started now, baby! Woo! That's what I'm talking about. It's radon time. All right, so we've got the hole done, and because we've got the fan mocked up, we're going to be able to see how we can cut the pipe. Usually when it's cinder block and brick, you know, it's typically, I'm going to need a 23-inch section of pipe to come in, but because those rocks are so ununiform, I don't know what it's going to be unless I mock it up. So that's why you always have that fan mocked up. It's all about that fan, about that fan, about that fan. All right, so why do I have an inside hammer and an outside hammer? So I can lock the pipe in place. There's always going to be gravel. I mean, I'm really fortunate today, but if you can use, well, this is what's been working for me. Once I establish a little slope, we want the system to always slope down. You need to lock the pipe in place, and I just simply use little rocks and just tap them into place like so, and it's locked in nice and tight until I can seal it in with backer rod and a nice sealant. Alright, so this is how we ensure that our pipe is nice and level where the fan's going to rest upon that. Use your level. That's my #1 tool right there. Alright, and then one more time. Double check that both ways. And then voila. Okay. So that's what it's all about for me. I keep singing the same song. It's all about that fan, about that fan, about that fan. Because we're building in from the fan and we're building out from the fan. So the job typically gets exponentially easier as we go along, but all this stuff matters. Okay, to run our fan we need electricity. So where do we get the electricity? We're going to use this outlet right here. And here's our homeowner. I'm making a video. Alright, so this right here will save your day. It's a circuit breaker finder. So let's see how that works out. Alright, we got this thing fired up. Oh, it's getting hot. It's getting hot. There we go. Alright, shut off a lot of this basement, so we'll have to figure out how to make that work out. So before we commit to wiring that fan in, we need to know what is underneath this slab, because I've got two kinds of fans that serve two different functions, and it all depends on what is underneath this slab. So we've got the 90 mocked in, it's not glued, and then we found center, and we're going to find out what's under there real quick. We're going to drill a pilot hole, and well, I'll drill it and let you know what I feel and why. Now, did you see, alright, first of all, look at the tip. There's not a bunch of mud and dirt on it. And did you see how it gave way? Alright, so that's a good sign. That's what we want. We don't want the tip to be dirty and muddy, because it means a lack of gravel. And when it broke through like that and didn't go into something hard, that's good as well. So here's a cool trick for running wire through long lengths of conduit. Baby powder. An old timer showed me this a while back, and I'm forever grateful to him. So do you see what I did right there? Used my hand like a funnel, squirted it in there, work it around, and it acts as like a lubricant, oddly enough, for the wire. Being that I've only got two hands, I'll just have to get to work, and I'll show you how she comes out. Alright, we've got our electricity done. We're gonna fire up the fan. Well, it's already fired up. Left it in the on position when I wired it. Okay, so here we are. We've got conduit run up, and then turns into wire, and then back to conduit again as it comes down the wall to the source here. Alright, and we just did the best we could with what we had. I'm not all that disappointed in it. You know, when you got an uneven surface to work on, you see what I'm talking about. Alright, it is now time for lunch. My policy is I take lunch once I get the fan wired up and running. So, see you in a few. You guys are still here? You want to see what I'm eating for lunch and doing for lunch? Okay. Well, there's my lunch box. I packed my lunch. Why? Time, energy, and money. I am in a county that has one stoplight, believe it or not. And for me to leave for lunch is completely, I would lose so much momentum and time. Hey, if I ran out of a material, it would completely derail this whole operation, because I'm in an extremely rural location. So therefore, I've got to make sure, double check, I've got every single thing I need, so I do not have to leave this work site, and I don't leave for lunch. I don't care if I'm parked next to a McDonald's, even though I do have a fondness for Big Macs. City, county, whatever, I always pack my lunch, and I always pack healthy crap too, because I need the energy. It's a trick. I like eating junk just as much as anybody else does, but if I'm only limited to apples and bananas and nuts and berries and all that stuff, then, well, I just ate healthy whether I liked it or not, because I'm going to eat whatever's in that box. Alright, give me 20 minutes, will you, and I'll be right back. Gosh, let me have some lunch. Alright, we are back from lunch, and we're going to drill a big hole. So, what do we do for that? Shop vac, big boy drill, connected to different circuits. If they're connected to the same circuit, you're going to pop a breaker. So you might as well just run extension cords as far away from one another, and that'll usually do the trick. So we are going to contain it in this high-tech apparatus. Okay, so we interrupt this regularly scheduled broadcast to bring you this special report. So here's an upgrade on gadgets and gizmos I was telling you about. The shop vac. All right, so we've increased this to a beefier, bigger version of this rigid. And most importantly, this bad boy right here will save the day for you. You have to absolutely use a shop vac when you're drilling these big holes in houses. And this attachment will contain the dust. Should you use the beefier version of that shop vac there, it will enable you to actually suck out the gravel from under the slab as opposed to remove it by hand. Big help. And so let me show you how this bad boy works. It's actually raining today. So it goes like so, you see? And then whatever you're drilling gets sucked into the shop vac. And it'll even work. It'll work vertically as well. So cool. Back to the shop. I have set up here. I close the lid like so. And I fire up the shop vac. Okay, so in this hole we do have gravel, but we've got a mixed bag of some goodies. And just to show you, like all the other radon videos you see, they just suck it out with a shop vac. Well, this is real, folks. Sometimes you gotta get down on the stuff. Get this old mess out of your hole. You gotta get as much stuff out of this hole as possible. There we go. Woo, look at that. You want to create a cavern so you can suck as much air from the slab of this home up and out. Alright, back to work. Okay, we've removed a significant amount of debris from that hole, and now I wanted to share a little tip with you. Have a bathroom plan. Yeah, I'm not going to get too crude about this subject, but let me put it to you this way. Customers love it when I pop my shoes off to walk through their house. Customers love it when they show up and they see I've got drop cloths. I didn't know that homeowner was going to show up today. How much do you think they like it when you're using their bathrooms? I never use a customer's bathroom whether the house is vacant, whether it's occupied, whether it's a palace or a dump. I have a van, I have a bucket, and use your imagination for the rest. I'm telling you that will serve you well. Just try your very best never to use customers' restrooms. Okay, we're building the system up outside, and it stopped raining. I typically bring the sunshine wherever I go. Can't rain forever. If you look at the top there, let's see if we can't zoom. A little trick I like to employ is on the back of pretty much all PVC pipe, there's information as to what it is, and I like to use that to help line me up. It's just a little trick I use. And of course, I've always got the trusty level. Never leave home without 45s and vertical. That's what it's all about. I don't get into 22.5s and 60 degrees. Just keep it simple. 45s and 9. Well, as many 45s as possible. You want as few 90s as possible. 90s cut your airflow big time. So always go with 45s until you have to. All right, and one more tip here. This is going to be the top, and I like to use the hubbed end as the top. Just a nice little touch I like to employ. And I use gutter guard. It's a mesh type of deal. It comes in a roll. Pretty cheap. It'll help me sleep a little better at night. We don't really have to worry about leaves, but squirrels, birds, whatever. I'll know that once this is in, stuff's going out but not going in. So just a little cherry on top. Well, we've had a big day. We've we've installed a radon system, and it was rainy and crappy, but you know, I've worked in far worse. So I hope you picked up something. Try to be prepared. Some things I do, I carry extra clothes. Pants. There is a match to this slipper. Sometimes I use that when I walk through people's houses. I have not one extra pair of shoes, but 2 extra pair of shoes. Working with soaking wet feet, that's bad. I even have a pair of waterproof boots. I have had to use them as well. You want to carry all the most reasonable gear that you can to keep you dry and warm. But yet, of course, you know, you have to carry other stuff as well. But anyway, extra pants, extra socks, extra pair of underwear. I've been soaked all the way through the underwear before. Today was nothing, but it was just wet enough to demonstrate to you, but yet dry enough for me to film and get the job done as well. The show must go on. This is outdoor work, and of course you want to use your head and not schedule in the middle of a blizzard or a torrential downpour, but you can't be scared of a little rain. So all this cardboard in the end, I don't know, maybe it helped, maybe not. My drop cloths are still wet. It does come in handy from time to time, and it's just simply reusing the boxes from the radon fans. So if you do get involved in this business, you need to have a way to process your cardboard or recycle it, ideally is what you should do. But you're gonna have a lot of daggone cardboard to deal with. So, and if you have a lot of cardboard to deal with, that means you're installing a lot of systems and have to go through a lot of radon fans. So that's a good problem to have. All right, so just as I set up the same, I pack up the same every single time. Every single time. I want to, remember, we want to be boring. I want to know that I can always find my street 90s right here. I can find my street 45s there. I can find my big boy drill there, my little man drill right there. I want to know that my tools are always right there. Shop vac's always there. I want to know that my caulk will always be here. My power tools will always be right here. I want to know that my drill bits will always be in this little red box. You want this stuff boring. You don't want any surprises. The only surprise I want tonight is where I'm going to eat dinner with my wife. I don't mind not knowing that, but I need to know where all my stuff is. That's very important, and will keep you from pulling your hair out if you're going to do this thing. All right, ta-da! We have ourselves a sub-slab depressurization radon system installed today. Couldn't have done it without you. Seriously though, if you would give me a thumbs up and subscribe, I'll put out a lot of content if you're really interested in getting into this business. We're moving a lot of air, so we're tickled about that. I'm not gonna get too nerdy about it. If you want to learn more, watch more of my videos. I put out a lot of content. I'm gonna show you one last tip here. All right, so we got a bunch of stuff wet today. These ground cloths. Okay, put them on last, because as soon as I get back to the shop, I'm gonna pull them out and hang them up. You take care of your stuff will take care of you. Don't leave this in here Saturday, Sunday, all weekend to get moldy and whatnot, and then come Monday, well, oh crap, forgot to do that. So, let's see, last tip. Broom goes on last. Why? Because we tidy up, and you don't want to put your broom and trash bag in until last. This is not a pristine job site. The seller had a lot of unfinished projects, and it was a quick sale under difficult circumstances. It is a divorce, quite frankly. But at any rate, the rule still applies. Broom is last. All right, take care of your stuff. Your stuff will take care of you. I appreciate you watching the video. Please give a thumbs up and subscribe. I hope this was of some help to you. Thanks, bye. Okay, here we have another example of a rainy old day with a radon install. So I wanted to show you, we've got the party started. That's what's important. First thing is get the party started. Get the system activated. And just think, okay, what's the worst thing? If it just rains unbearably, well, we have to move the operation inside a bit. More so than we'd like, but these things have tight timelines. This thing has to get done today. If I can't finish the exhaust today, at least I've got the system activated today. So since you're here, I'll show it to you. So we got cracks sealed, want to watch out for those. And we don't want to screw over the plumber that will ultimately someday have to replace that outside spigot. Want to give those folks plenty of room to do their thing. While we're at it, want to be nosy. So this is the other side of the house. These are some pretty big cracks to fill. You need to be nosy when you're assessing these jobs for reasons such as this. Oh yeah. All right, so what we're doing is we are pressing on, but we're not being daredevil macho man. We're listening for lightning. That's the trick. Rain doesn't kill you, lightning does. So what are the rules at the swimming pool? Well, after every thunderclap you hear, you wait a half an hour before getting back in. So I'm applying something like that to finishing this job. And I just heard some thunder, and that's why I'm climbing down here to make this video. But if we dance through that today, we've got enough daylight. I don't want to come back here, but I don't want to risk my life either. So we're just trying to play it as smart as we can. Alright, so we went ahead and did this job right here today. You see that? And we waited out the lightning and suffered through the rain. And the success I feel of putting this in far exceeds the adversity that it took to put it in. Also, I'm gonna make this guy behind me a customer. He stopped to see what I was doing and he's interested in radon abatement. So that's another thing to be said for showing up even when the situation's not ideal. Hey, thanks so much for hanging out with me and making it through this video. It's probably the longest one I've ever released, but it is chock full of goodies that will help you if you intend to become a radon mitigator. You know, it sat so long in my archives, I guess I just never had a cherry to put on top of it to close it out. But anyway, here we are. And anyway, that customer I never did, I did not convert him. I have no idea what he did or if he went with somebody else. I have no idea. So maybe I got a little cocky there at the end. But hey, I could take you to plenty of streets where we can ride down the street together and say, I did that one, I did that one, I did that one. So the business is out there for you. And if you stick with it, and I hope my channel has helped you. I've had a lot of fun doing it. My mindset was, you know what, I'm here, I've got this iPhone, you know, and people are interested in this subject, and the subject's not really covered that much on YouTube. Why not? So the little channel has evolved, and I'm so glad to have had you with me. All right, I'm gonna wrap this up. Hope you guys have a terrific new year, and take care. Bye.